Hey guys, Lance Thornton here with Bass Pro Shops, and today we're going to go over how to tie a D-loop. The reason the D-loop's important and how to tie one properly is there's different sides of the string that you want to put your knots on if you're a right-handed shooter, left-handed shooter. A D-loop's vital to a consistent release, being able to shoot your release, hooking up to the string properly without damaging your serving. And that's what we're going to go over in this video, and we'll get rolling on that right now. All right, so what you need to tie a D-loop is, you need D-loop material, you need a good pair of scissors, you need some D-loop pliers, and you need a lighter. So first step for tying a D-loop is get your D-loop material out of the package. So get your D-loop material out, just kind of straighten it up. And the first thing you're going to want to do is find one of these ends, and you're going to want to flare that end. So you can just tap the end of it, like you can hold on to it and just tap it with your finger, kind of flare this part out. The reason you want to flare this out is because you're going to burn this end of this string, and you want to have kind of like a nice little round burnt spot, so that way when you cinch this up, that little burnt end is kind of what holds that in there, what bites it and doesn't let the material loop around or slip off. So once you flare that out, you're just going to burn it. Get it kind of going here. And then I always use my lighter head and kind of push it, flatten that part out, right? And so then you have something that looks like this on the end, just a nice little burnt end. This will keep this from fraying over time, and it also gives you something, gives your string something to kind of bite on. All right, so when you get to this point where you're tying your D-loop, after you've got your knot burned or your cord end burned on this end, then you want to come over here, and for a right-handed shooter, you're going to start out with this baby J. So you make your string kind of like this, little J. And then you take these two loop ends, the loop end like this, and put it facing to you, right? So you put your loop like this, and then what you're going to do is just pull both of those tag ends through this hole, through your loop that you just made. So you grab your tag end of your rope here, pull it through, right? You get this tight. Make sure your little knot stays there, and then you're just going to cinch this down. So there's half of your D-loop right there. So you've got your knot burnt, or your cord end burnt here, your loop here, right? So that's half your D-loop. So then you want this knot to alternate on the other end. So you got the knot on this side, you're going to put the knot on the left side. So you got it on the right side, you're going to put a knot on the left side. So then when you want to do this, you just bring this to the opposite side of the string. You're going to go down, so you're holding it against the string. You're going to come up through this loop. You're going to pull this cord through here. Like at this point right here, you don't have to worry about necessarily how tight or how slack you have this, because you can work it once you get done. And so then this comes here, and then you're going to go you're going to go over the string, and then you're going to pull this baby right back through here, and then you will just cinch this down. Well, at this point, right, so once you pull this tight, you've got it set. Now what you want to do is kind of eyeball this thing about where you want it, right? So how long you want your D-loop. So you just kind of work the slack back and forth. Like that's pretty close right there. Because this will stretch when you, so we'll cut this tag end and then we'll burn it and have it set. But then when you stick your D-loop pliers in here to cinch this down, this will stretch. So don't make it the exact length that you want right from the get-go. Make it just a shade shorter, because when you cinch that thing down, it's going to stretch that D-loop out. So we'll get it and we eyeball it. We like it about right there. We'll take our scissors and we'll cut our tag end here like so. Set our extra D-loop off to the side. And then we're just going to repeat the process that we did. So we're going to flare this end out. Got our string nice and flared for a knot. And then what I like to do is to turn this either this side or this side before I cinch it down. So that way when I take my lighter and I'm burning this thing, I'm not putting any heat directly on my string or my serving. I got it out here to the side, so you're gonna fold that out of the way. You got your flared end here. You're gonna burn this straight up. And then take your lighter, kind of flatten it out. Nice and pretty, like so. You rotate this back around. Just kind of work it back and forth with your fingers till you get it like that. All right, and then you would take your D-loop pliers. These D-loop pliers, you'll notice they have, you can use needle nose pliers too, they work. D-loop pliers have a little groove in there, so you can hook one groove on the string, one groove on your D-loop, and then you'll just take and open these and cinch this D-loop down, and then you're ready to shoot. Now when you cinch this down too, like cinch it tight to where like right now I'm tight. It may be hard to see in this camera, but I can move this D-loop and it kind of moves my string, right? You want it to be able to do that, but you don't want to cinch it down so tight that you can separate your serving. Like you can really get on those pliers and stretch it real tight, but you can actually damage your serving by stretching it too tight. So just get a good enough bite where when you twist, your D-loop, your string kind of twists with you. Where that'll come into play is when you set your peep sight. Say if your peep sight's just off just a shade, right? You can literally rotate this D-loop. So if your peep sight's setting just a little bit crooked, you can line your D-loop with the same angle that your peep's on. So that way when you hook up and then you go to pull and draw, it'll actually rotate that peep sight back to you, and then it'll be perfectly in line with your D-loop. And really that's the science behind a D-loop. It's not overly complicated. It can be intimidating, but once you see how it's done, it's pretty easy. All right, guys, thanks for watching. That's how to tie a D-loop. If you want, click this next video and we'll go over how to anchor properly.